Peace family, thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Karen's World. Listen, I am introducing this. I don't want to call this an interview. This is really conversation. This is a very informal, laid back conversation between me and my dada Sherry Bombray, who is a Black expat that resides in Ghana. And so we're having some really good conversation about life and, life in Ghana, her experiences in Ghana, my experiences also here in Kenya. So I hope you guys enjoy. Please like and subscribe, comment. Let me know what you guys think. This is our first interview. Now look. I know that the sound may be a little fuzzy and the internet may be a little fuzzy, but look, I'm growing. I am growing. You are growing with me. I will have all of the necessary equipment and all of that stuff coming soon. So y'all don't get in my comments talking about what I need. I know what I need. I'm new. I'm growing. Okay, we have to start from somewhere. So anyway, y'all, I love y'all so much, and I hope you enjoy this conversation with Sherry. Peace. Bye. The continent of Africa. She is currently in Ghana. She's in Accra, Ghana. And so I wanted her to be the first person that I interviewed because I just think that she's so beautiful. She has such a beautiful soul, right? And so, family, welcome Sherry. Hey, Sherry.
Mambo, jumbo.
Mambo jumbo.
Right.
Habariako. Yeah, that's right, because you know a little Kiswahili. So before we get it, Kidogo, Kidogo.
Kidogo.
All right, okay. So tell the people a little, huh?
I said just enough to get me by when I was in Tanzania, just a little bit.
All right. So you were in Tanzania. So we're gonna dive into that. But first I want you just to tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I am 55, soon to be 56. I've
50,
been in Ghana
and
for,
you looking good.
I'm trying, thank you.
Okay.
Being in Africa definitely helps you age in reverse. But
Mhm.
I've been on the continent since September of 2020. I've been in Ghana since March of 2021. I'm retired. I'm a disabled Navy veteran. I've also worked on Wall Street for a number of years. I have a background in social services as well, and medical massage therapy. But I'm retired from it
Oh,
all.
nice, nice. And thank you for your service because you are a vet. I always tell people when you take this journey, the journey of repatriation, right? I
Mhm.
said retirees, they are some of the best candidates to repatriate because when you're retired, you already have this consistent income coming in, right? And so and when you retire outside of the United States, the cost of living is so much better. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah. Yes, yes. So yeah, so thank you for your service. And it is amazing to see an African American female, you in your 50s, you're looking great.
Thank
Um
you.
how since being on the continent of Africa, what changes, have you noticed even within yourself from being on the continent?
I think, excuse me, like most military veterans, I have my anxiety was high. And living in New York for the last, whatever, 20 years or whatever, made it even higher. Being a single woman on my own in the city, my anxiety has reduced so much. Like I'm not anxious all the time. I'm not always looking over my shoulder,
Mhm.
worried about having to fight. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, that might sound crazy to a lot of people, but in New York, you always have to be prepared to defend yourself. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? That's a thought in your head or in my head every
Mhm.
day. You
Mhm.
know, defending myself, whether I'm on the train, whether I'm walking to the store, whether I'm waiting for a Uber or a Lyft. It was
Mhm.
always looking around, making sure that I'm safe. Not that I don't take care of myself, not that I'm not precautious here, but it's
Mhm.
just it's less of a need for it here. Like it's a real situation in the for me in the places that I
Mhm.
live in the U.S. It was always a necessity to know self-defense, to always be
Mhm.
pay attention to your surroundings, and all of that
Yeah.
doesn't leave when you get here because you still are like, oh, I don't want to sit with my back to the door. Certain things that have always been with us, but it's a lot less. It's a lot
Mhm.
less. Like the peace here.
Yes.
Huh,
Yes.
I can't
And so
describe it.
and when you talked about how stressful it is in New York, and New York is heavily populated, right? And and it is busy, busy, busy. So I understand the stress of just the United States, period, with me being from the South, right? So that's
Yeah,
stress,
yeah,
right? And so
yeah,
you being in coming from such a busy city as New York, right? So that's
yeah,
even added stress to you, and being a vet, right? So yeah, so
yeah,
I work with a lot of clients who have anxiety, PTSD, and that
mhm,
sort of thing. And I
yeah.
tell people all the time, your environment affects your mood.
It's
And
so
just
true.
yeah, and so the fact that you said once you got to the continent, you said I feel more peaceful, right?
I do.
And I can relate to that. I can't describe what it is. It's like I tell people it's like a vibe. Africa is a
It,
vibe.
it
It's
is.
not, I mean, I can stand in front of a building that's falling down and I'll be looking
Mm-hmm.
around like, wow, this place is beautiful because it's an energy, it's a vibration, it's a feeling,
Uh-huh.
right? And so no
True.
matter how much you try to describe that feeling, it's like it's something that you have to experience for yourself. So I can relate to you when you said that, getting here, the
Mm-hmm.
peace was lifted up,
Yeah.
right? Lifted off of your shoulders.
So true.
So tell me why
Yeah.
why Ghana? Why did you choose Ghana?
I always thought that I would retire to Barbados and that I would open a wellness center and live in Barbados, but I always wanted to visit Ghana, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Senegal because
Uh-huh.
of the African American presence, the door of no return, the history that we
Yeah.
as African Americans have in those places. So I always wanted to visit them for like 20 something years. I worked at CNN when they did the first documentary called Cry Freetown. It was about the diamond trade in Sierra Leone. And
Okay.
so that is what made me want to visit Sierra Leone because it was so, in spite of, the documentary and the bloodshed and all the horrible things that happened, it is such a beautiful country. So that's why I
Mm-hmm.
put Sierra Leone on the list. But anyway, so I always wanted to visit Ghana, but I never thought I would live here. And then um, I was working in social services and I was
Mm-hmm.
working in a DV shelter. And my anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
I used to sit in my office and cry. My anxiety was going through the roof, through the roof. So I just started thinking, like, I got to get out of here. I've lived all across the United States. And I've
Yeah.
lived everywhere I've wanted to live in the United States, with the exception of Chicago. I lived in all the major cities, done it.
Wow.
So that wasn't working for me. And I've lived in Europe, and I didn't want to be in Europe as a single Black woman in Europe. And
Yeah.
people started going to Ghana. This was before
Mhm.
the year of return. And
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah, it was before the year of return, but I didn't retire until 2019. But right around the time I was planning to come and visit Ghana, the year of return happened. And then I was like, maybe I want to stick to my plan because everybody and anybody is going to be going to Ghana. Then COVID happened. And
Ah.
one of my favorite humans, my little cousin, who was like a little brother, he passed away. And it
I'm
was a
sorry.
shock and it was devastating. And I was like, if I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it. So Ghana wasn't open, but Tanzania was. So I booked my ticket. I went to, my cousin passed. And so that was my opportunity to visit my family in Texas and Georgia and Maryland and just tell everyone that I was moving to Africa. And
Mhm.
I had bought a ticket already in September. I was out. And
Wow.
so my family knows how I am. So they didn't try to argue, not even my father. My sons were proud of me, actually. Like they were really proud. And so I went to TZ, but the goal was always Ghana. I went to TZ and I was there for about 5 months, then Rwanda, then Kenya, where I met you. And
Yes.
and I love them all. Kenya was the place that I really was like, do I really want to go to Ghana? Like I could live here. Like I love Nairobi. But
Yes.
once I got to Ghana from the airport, and I know it's cliche and I could just feel something here that I didn't
Mm,
feel anywhere else. And I said, I don't know if this is going to be my forever home or if I'm supposed to be here right now. But this is where I
mhm.
need to be. And everything fell in place from the airport. Everything
Wow.
has fallen in place. It has been so easy for me to be
Mhm,
here. It's like I met all the right connections, all the right people.
mhm.
Everything that has kept me from being scammed, from
Yeah.
having me, all of it, everything. Like the stars are in alignment. God is watching
Yeah.
out for me. Seriously, the
Yeah.
ancestors, like it's
Yeah.
just this is home. It feels like home. Every week I get upset. I'm like, I'm going to Kenya, like once a week at least.
Right, because I thought you were coming back to Kenya. I said, "Oh, Sherry's gonna." I even told my daughter. I said, "I think Sherry's gonna come back to Kenya. It's gonna be so nice to have Sherry in Kenya." But you know what? I believe that there is such this movement of African Americans coming back to the continent, and African American women, single African American women coming back to the continent. This is spiritual, also,
Agree.
and I
I agree.
believe that. Yeah, this is a spiritual move also. And I believe that the ancestors are calling us back home and we're being positioned in our
Mm-hmm.
prospective places. Because
Exactly.
so my first time coming on the continent, I was in South Africa. So I can relate to where you go to a place, it's all right, but
Mm-hmm.
then there's this other place where you feel pulled to, and it's like, this is home.
Yeah.
This is home. And
Yeah.
that's how I feel here with Kenya. Like, okay, this is home. But however, I'm still going to visit other countries,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so I do believe that this move is a pull, of the ancestors of the Most High that's calling us
Absolutely.
back home. This is just not anything that's just happening. We're going to buy tickets and get visas, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a pull, right? And so when you talked about it a little bit about your family, right? You said,
Yeah.
I know how my family know how I am. So I take it that they received it well of you moving
They
to the
did.
continent.
They did. My
Hmm.
father was the last person I told. I told my because I know how he was going to react.
Hmm.
He so I took them to a Jamaican restaurant and I bought him a really expensive shot of something. I don't know what it was, but it was expensive as hell. And so everybody knew except my dad.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, I have something to tell you. He was like, you moving again? And I was like, yeah. He was like, where you moving to? And I was
Mhm.
like, out of the country. So he was like, Barbados. And I was like, no. He was like, not Barbados. So I said, Africa. He was like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. He took the shot. He was just sitting there looking at me for the longest time. And my mom was cracking up laughing. And then he said, let me just ask you a question and be honest with me. And I was like, okay, daddy, like, what is it? He said, are you going all the way to Africa for a guy, well, he said another word.
Oh
So
my
I'm not going
God,
to
so you
say
were
our
gonna say
name. I was like, no. I was like, absolutely not. There are tons of men in America. There are tons of men from every ethnicity in New York. Like, I don't have to leave
that?
Brooklyn for that. So no,
Yes,
that's
that's the
no.
first thing our families think because it's so far fetched to say that we're moving to Africa, right? Because there's this stereotype of Africa as flies, children with flies in their eyes, complete
Yeah.
poverty, and then when you get here, you see something totally different. So
Mhm.
speaking of coming to Africa for a man, although that wasn't your reason, but that's a nice girl. That's some icing on the cake. So
It
how has dating been for you in Ghana?
is. It's different. It's me because I have tunnel vision And so in America, I dated mostly Caribbean men.
Okay.
So here is real conservative. It's a little different. You know what I'm saying? So I had it in my head like I'm not dealing with any Ghanaian men. And then I was in the nail salon and I was talking to this young sister from New York. She's Ghanaian, but she's a marketing executive in New York. And we started talking about New York and America and all these things. And she took my number and she invited me for drinks. And I didn't know where we were going. It turns out that it was her uncle's house. So
Oh.
she hooked me up with her uncle.
Okay.
Whole plan whereby if he didn't like me, then they were going to escort me off the property. Like she was she was leaving, so I was
Okay.
going to have to leave with her or whatever. But he ended up inviting me to dinner, and so we're dating. It's nothing too serious, but it's fun. It's very,
Mhm.
very, very different.
Okay.
Very different from what I'm
So
used to.
different because you said that they're more conservative. In what way? Because the people want to know like what way are they conservative?
Okay.
Raw and uncut, no
Like
chaser.
for instance, you don't see PDAs here. I don't like them anyway, but you don't see them. You will not
Okay.
see it's rare that you see people even holding hands here. So
Really?
kissing in public, yeah, kissing in public and all that kind of stuff is a no-go. They're very quiet and they think that we are like loud and boisterous. We talk too much. True sometimes. Um,
Mhm.
so they're people will say that they're docile, but they're not. It's just that they have been taught that it's impolite to be loud. So they tend to be very quiet, very soft spoken. Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of stuff from their colonial past or whatever. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, it's like you will go out and see couples and they don't even talk to one another. How
Oh
we get
wow.
up and dance a lot and stuff like that. Like sometimes you won't see that. You can go certain places and see it, but
Mhm.
to see a lot of people just sitting down listening to music is not uncommon. I don't want to say anything too, because people
Yeah,
will come for you
but
in
it
these
does
YouTube.
seem, I don't.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I
No,
want you to
I'm
finish
just
your.
they're not as talkative as we are. They're much more patient than we
Mhm.
are, and they do not understand sarcasm. So
Really? Okay.
they don't like it for the most part.
Okay.
And this is a broad generalization
Mhm.
because I have a friend who is Ghanaian, but he was educated in the UK and he's
Mhm.
lived in America and Canada.
Mhm.
So his sensibilities are different. He understands sarcasm. He can be sarcastic himself, but for the most part, they don't get it. They don't get it at all.
Mm.
Someone told me that sarcasm is unnecessary and mean spirited.
Really?
Yeah.
And I can see the challenge. Most African American women think that you come to Africa and you meet your big mandingo, right?
Mhm.
You're gonna meet your fine African prince that's gonna sweep you off your feet. And so, but there's other things that come into play, when you come to the continent. Like in Kenya, for instance, most women you're dating younger.
Yeah.
Because first of all, a lot of us as African American women don't look our ages to them.
Right. And-
Have you noticed that in Ghana?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and so it's like you can't be, you're not 51 or you're not 56. So,
Yeah.
because I let some of my gray come in, they'll know by my gray. But
Right.
for the most part, we look younger. So you have a lot of younger men that would approach you. And so another thing is, and I know, I know we're gonna end the interview soon because I know we're on a time restriction. But a lot of women, it's not like in America where you just come and you can relate to every African person. Uh-oh.
No, it's not. You
Can't,
spend, I
right?
spend so much time explaining myself, like, no, that's not what I meant. No, it's, and being, I spend so much time saying, I'm sorry, Pole.
Yeah.
Wrong. I apologize because people get
Mhm.
offended about things that we take, especially in New York. Even though I'm Southern raised, I spent the majority of
Oh,
my adult life in New York. So
mhm.
the way, people will be like, oh, New Yorkers are rude. No, people are just straight to the point, and here, a lot of people beat around the bush because they think certain things are impolite.
Yes, same here. So yeah, so same here. And I think sometimes for us we get frustrated because they don't want to be rude and they try to be very polite. Sometimes they come across to us as you're lying to me. But it's not that I'm trying to lie to you. I just don't want to hurt your feelings. And we're like, just tell me the truth. I don't care if you hurt my
Exactly.
feelings. I don't care if you're being
Exactly.
rude. If it's the truth, I'm okay. So yeah, so that is one of the adjustments that I find that we do have to make while we're here on the
It's
continent.
true. The other day I went in to have lunch by myself, right? So there were four chairs at the table. Two of them were small and two of them were big. So I went to
Mhm.
put my bag in the small chair. And the waiter said, oh, auntie, please sit here. And I said, oh, you want me to sit in the big chair? Why? He said, "Oh, if no, no, you can sit here. I said, sweetheart, it's okay. I know the bigger chair would be more comfortable for my big behind. It's okay. So he just I said, just
Mhm. Guys are enjoy. I'm so excited to be talking to her. I hope you guys are enjoying this video. We're gonna give her a minute to come
I'm
back
here.
in. All right, you're
Is that you or me or
well, it
us?
could be me too, because I have this Zuku and it's been acting up too. So it could be me. It's Africa. Okay. It's Africa.
I'm like,
So
no, the generator pops right back on, but not now, not today. This fan is not
yeah.
cutting it.
So let me tell. So one of the tips that I've learned that they've said, okay, when you come to the continent, there are, and it's not that you're stereotyping, but to help you to be able to communicate, there's like
Mhm.
different levels of Africans, right? Now I'm not talking about classism or anything like that, but let's just say you're probably gonna relate to a Ghanaian differently who's never, let's just say they're from Ghana, they been raised in Ghana, they never left Ghana, right? So they
Mhm.
only know America or, African Americans from TV,
Right.
okay? So
Hmm.
that's kind of like one level. Then you have another level that may work for an international organization, may be exposed to, the West based upon work, but they've still never left the continent. Then you
Right.
have those who may have gone to university in the States, right? They go to university in the States.
Europe and
After they
Canada.
get their education, they come back. And
Right.
then you have those who actually lived in the States or lived in the West for an
Yeah.
extended period of time and just decided after many years, like many of us, they've decided to come back to the continent. So
Right.
I find the ones that probably going to be able to relate to you more are the ones who may have went to school in the West and came back, or the ones who's lived in the West for an extended period of time.
Absolutely.
I hope
Absolutely.
I don't mean that to sound bad, but I'm
Right.
just saying to help us to be able to adjust because we are trying to adjust to a new
Mhm.
culture in a new environment. And think
Right.
about it, like us, we don't know how to even think. This is new. We don't think like immigrants. We've never had to. We didn't come from families, who were immigrants in a sense, and we understand the life of moving and adjusting to a new country, right? We don't understand that. So when we come to the continent, there's so many things that we don't even think about, right? And
Yeah.
so that's just one little tip in your dating.
Yeah. Yes, but the power is out, so I can't even get dressed now. But I just looked over and I bought an avocado 2 days ago. If I don't eat it today, it's gonna be rotten. That's
Yes.
another thing
And
I love about
how
being
long
here.
will
Not to get
that
off track.
avocado last you in the States?
Girl, at least 7, 8 days. I don't know. I
Yes.
think, you know, I just looked over at my fruit bowl and I'm like, yeah, I need to eat this before I leave. I don't want it to go back. It's a little soft. Just 2 days
Uh-huh.
ago. I had it.
Mhm.
2 days.
Look,
That's
when
what I love about being here.
I first got here and I saw my bread started molding in like 3 days,
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like, this
yeah,
is natural food.
yeah,
This is natural food. This is
exactly.
organic.
Yep. You can't eat everything all at one time. It's like you buy bananas and the bananas go bad. So these are still good to eat, although the skin is brown, they're still firm. They go bad
Mhm.
so quickly. Your little
Yes.
banana. I'm like,
Yes.
oh,
Yes.
well, everything.
Yeah. So
Everything.
what are some of the new habits that you feel that you've picked up since being on the continent?
New habits.
Yeah,
Hmm.
like what do you do differently since being here that you really didn't do in America?
I don't cook for myself. So when we talk about new habits, it's gonna sound crazy to some people. I've had conversations, not so nice conversations about people who say that we're the new colonists or whatever. But I'm
Oh,
turning 50.
really? Tell me
Uh-huh.
about
I'm
that.
turning 56 and I feel like I don't drive well in the US. So why would I come here and drive myself? It makes
Mhm.
sense for me to have a driver. So I
Mhm.
have a
Mhm.
driver. I have house help. You know what I'm saying? I don't those so
So do
those
I.
are it's different for me. There were things that I don't want to do anymore. I just
Mhm.
don't. I mean, so I'd rather spend my time Tuesday through Friday. I get up and I go and sit by the pool and I get in the pool. I have a water aerobics class that's not my mother's water aerobics, that's for sure. It
Mhm.
would be, if it were on land, it would be the equivalent of a hit workout, but in the pool.
Mm.
Crazy. And someone here told me, don't say that. Like, you can't call Ghanaians crazy. They're like, don't say that. That's rude. He'll be offended.
Let me ask you this. So when you've heard people say, you're being like the new colonizers because you have house
Mhm.
help and that sort of thing, is that coming from like other diasporans or is it coming from the locals?
No, diasporans who are not
Yes.
even on the continent a lot of times.
Okay. So yes, and don't. There's just so much. People don't understand this journey, especially if you are in the United States on YouTube watching YouTube videos, and then all of a sudden you're an expert about
Right.
repatriation, and you've never
Mhm.
even left the West, right?
Okay,
They don't
exactly.
understand because I learned this the hard way. When we come to the continent, and because in America we're like on Western standards, like they I don't think I'm a minority, but they
Mhm.
classify us as minorities. Now they
Right.
classifying the Hispanics as minority, right? Just
Mhm.
not the majority in the society. Although we
Right.
make money, we make a living, all that, we're still classified as the minority, right? And then
Right.
racism is prevalent. So, but when you come here, racism is not really a thing in a
Mhm.
sense, maybe tribalism, maybe classism, but not
Right.
necessarily racism because all of them are black. And when you
Right.
come here, you realize that we're all different ethnicities. So what I had
Mhm.
to learn early on, and this is a new lesson I learned, getting a house help is not the same as your big mama who used to be the maid for the white woman.
No, not at all.
But
Not at all.
when we have house, so an African American in the States, they view us as when we have house help, that means we're colonizing. And they
Yeah.
couldn't be far from the truth because that is the
Exactly.
way of life here. This is how these people make money. This is how they make
Absolutely.
their money.
And
And I
oftentimes we pay them more.
they're what?
We pay them more than oftentimes we pay
We
them more.
do
I'm
pay
sorry to cut you
more.
off. Than their standard wage. So it's like we're employing people, we're helping people out. Like
Yeah.
the house help that I had was helping a family with her salary. You know what I mean? Like helping her younger brother get through school. So it's like you don't understand that we're helping somebody. And now she's going off to nursing school in November. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like you can say
Yes.
whatever you want to say. We're giving people an opportunity to put money in their pockets and to fulfill their dreams. Her dream was to go to nursing school, and she will get through
Mhm.
nursing school. You know what I'm saying? She
Mhm.
will do whatever it is that
Yeah.
she wants to do. But she needed a stepping stone. And working as a house help provided her with the money that she needed to get to where she wants to go. You know?
Mhm.
So I
Yes.
don't see it that way.
Absolutely. And I don't even feel like we need to have to try to justify that, because I think you need to be here to really see what the life is here. It's totally different, right? And so even my Kenyan neighbors have house help. My
Yes.
Kenyan neighbors have house help. And what we don't realize that the West have been doing it wrong. Actually,
Uh-huh.
it's the right way here to have
Yeah.
house help, to have the
Yes.
nannies, to have somebody to help out.
Yes.
In America, we talked about it earlier, the stress. A woman in America, especially if she's married, she has to, they're taking the children to school. They're working 8 hours a day, 12 hours a day, picking the
Mm-hmm.
children up from school,
Yeah.
taking the children to football practice and cheering practice and all those things, get home, have to cook dinner, have to help the
Mm-hmm.
children with the homework. Then you perform it. Then you got to be able to perform for your husband, right? Okay.
Exactly.
And,
Yes.
and rinse and repeat the next day.
Mm-hmm.
African American women are tired. We are
Yeah.
tired. We are burned out because
Mm-hmm.
you are expected to do everything. Here, my neighbors have house help. Some of them have live-in house help. The house
Yes.
help
That's
cook,
what I have.
clean,
That's what
keep the
I have because we
children.
have boys quarters. Yes.
Yes. Hmm.
Two neighbors,
This is how
a
it's supposed to
driver.
be done.
Our friend, her son gets driven to school. The children get driven in a car to school. Some of the private schools have buses, but it's like
Mhm.
no, they have a driver. The driver comes and drops them off from school and picks them up because they have other things to do. They have companies to run, whatever it is. They're not just sitting at home twiddling their thumbs, and they're not
Mhm.
overworked and overwhelmed. They're
Mhm.
not.
Mhm.
On Sundays, when you go to the pool, to like these luxury hotels and the pools or different places, the beach or whatever, you see pure families enjoying their children, not stressed out. All weekend, people
Yes.
are enjoying their families. Children are
Yes.
outside playing on the streets. You know,
Yes.
American people are like, oh, there are not enough activities for children in Ghana. All these Ghanaian children are in the streets playing. Why aren't there
Mhm.
active? Send them outside so they can play. It's not going to hurt little Jaquan to go outside and play.
Right. And
Like,
I love the laughter of children playing. That was one of the things that I noticed here. Like these kids in my complex, they're outside skating, they're riding
yeah.
their bikes, they're screaming, they're yelling, they're singing happy birthday. I don't know what it is about Kenyan children that love happy birthday. They walk around and you just hear them outside, happy birthday to you. They love happy birthday. And so, and even when I'm talking to clients, sometimes I'm like, you may hear children in the background. There's like, they will be like, it's okay. Because it's a joy to
It
hear
is.
children, the laughter of children. The
It's true.
laughter of children playing and running. It is music to my ears. I don't mind them outside screaming. We have
Yeah.
lost that in the West. We're
Yeah.
so stressed out. We're caught up
Mhm.
in the system. We're on the wheel. And then we have the audacity to not think that we deserve to have house help. Why would you not
Oh, yeah.
deserve that?
Yeah. That's what gets me.
You have a colonized mind.
Yep, it's true. I remember when I had my old driver, my friend came, she'll watch this and she'll know who she is. She came in from the UAE and she was sitting in the front seat. And he is not going to tell her to sit in the back, although he prefers that people sit in the back because you're blocking his view. And these streets are not easy. You know that from being in Kenya is different. So
Mm-hmm.
she was like, I
Very.
don't want to sit in the back. We're all black and I'm gonna be in the back seat. I mean, the two of us are gonna be in the back seat like he's driving Miss Daisy and he's there like not saying anything. So finally I had to tell her, get your blankety blank in the back seat. You're blocking his view. It's not he doesn't want you in the front seat, but he's not gonna tell you that. For safety reasons,
Mm-hmm.
that's here when you order Uber or Bolt or whatever, I think it says that you should sit in the back because you don't want to block the view or whatever.
Yes.
There's like
Yeah.
put your booty in the back, get out of his way. But
Mm-hmm.
she didn't want to feel like, make him feel
Mm-hmm.
away or whatever. But I'm like, no, he's doing a job. He's providing us with the service, and he's paid
Mm-hmm.
very well to do the service. So don't, you know,
Yes. Yeah.
don't
And
feel
I think, and this is so, it's just so much. My reasons, even for starting this channel, is to start exposing people to everyday life and to start preparing African Americans and the African, in the Africans in the diaspora, whether you're from the UK, wherever you are from the West, right? These
Mhm.
things that we're talking about, like just the idea of having a house help, you need to understand the custom of it. My first
Absolutely.
house help, I was, I was probably more common with her because we come with the
Mhm.
mindset of, I want to empower you. You don't have to
Yes,
remain being a house help because
right,
our ancestors in the States were empowered that way, where our parents
mhm,
said, you will not be a house help, you are going
right,
to work. And so we have been
right,
successful in generations. So you rarely going to find an African American that's a house help in the United States. So
right,
we come with
right.
the mindset of empowerment. Well, they don't even understand what you're talking about. You cannot
Yeah,
come and try to force your culture on someone else. If they're
yeah,
ready for it, sure. But you can't
yeah,
come out the gate trying to
no,
empower someone when they don't even understand your concept. They don't even understand what you're talking about, right?
yeah.
And
So
so,
true.
yeah, and then so we have to also realize that our purpose for coming to the continent is not to take away, it's to
Mm-hmm.
come to is to come
Right.
to expand. Yes, we do want to partner with our brothers and sisters on the continent as well, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when the African American, and I'm saying African American because that's who we're talking to mostly right now,
Right.
when we come to the continent, we're dumping money here. We're hiring house help, we're hiring
Yeah.
drivers, we're
Yep.
renting apartments, we're going to
Yeah.
grocery stores, we're going to restaurants,
Mhm.
we're going to the
The
markets.
market,
We are
dressmakers.
we're going to dressmakers. We're going to get our hair done. We're going to get
Yep.
our nails done. We're going to get
Yeah.
massages. We are
Yeah.
starting new businesses. We are
Yeah.
buying land. When
Yes.
we come to this
Absolutely.
continent, we come in and we're just dumping money in there. So I wish somebody would
Absolutely.
tell me, "Oh, don't you're a colonizer if you got a house help."
Yeah.
No, my
Yep.
house help get paid very well, and she lives a
Mhm.
better life, right?
Mhm. Very true.
We're dumping. When we come here, we dump money here. We're not. What
Yeah.
do we take? We're not taking anything. We're not
Yeah.
taking anything out of. We're not taking jobs from anybody. We come to this
No.
continent in the exchange of connecting, reconnecting to our
Mhm.
homeland, the whole continent, right?
Yeah.
Spiritually, peace, coming back home to ourselves, who we really are as a people,
Right.
that connection,
Exactly.
right? And
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
that's what we're coming back for. And we bring in, then we're coming in, we're bearing gifts. So I just want people, African Americans, I just want people to understand that.
Yeah. I
What we
think the
deserve.
majority of the people do. For those who
Yeah.
don't, it's because they don't want to. Do you understand what I'm saying? There are
Yeah.
people who in our own community who don't want us coming here. They'll say, that's not our home. We're this, we're that. But if you're this or that, why are you in Africa and not in that country? You know what I'm talking. I'm sure you
Mhm.
know. Why are you here and not
No,
there?
break it on
Why?
down, Sherry. Sherry,
I
we
don't
break it on
understand it.
down.
I'm like, if
We
you're a
we're not
Hebrew
from Africa.
and
We're
you
from
don't
Israel. Go ahead.
If you're Hebrew and you don't want to be connected to Africa, and you're vexed by African Americans referring to themselves as Africans, are referring to the continent as home, why are you here then? Why are you here?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing here? If these are not your
Mm-hmm.
people, I don't know how to ask that question without sounding confrontational because I don't get it. And
Mm-hmm.
the Hebrews that I know well enough to ask that question live in America. So
Yeah.
I'm like,
I hope
I would love
I'm
to
I'm
have that.
hoping to go ahead.
No, I was just saying I would love to have that conversation with some of the ones who live here in Ghana. And
Okay.
I get upset when
I'm hoping to get an interview with one here in Kenya to
okay,
act, because when you look at the continent, the Middle East is Africa.
okay.
Look at
Exactly.
the map. I'm sorry. When you look at the map, the Middle East. What is the Middle East? That part right is connected to the continent of
Look
Africa.
at
See,
where Israel
huh?
is on a real map. Look at where Israel is on a real map. It's
That
Africa.
right. That's what I'm saying. It's on the continent of Africa.
Yes. We
It's
have
on the
all
continent of
been
Africa.
duped. We've all
We
been
have
duped.
we have been
And they
so
think that
duped.
they think those of us who consider ourselves African centered, or not everyone here is African centered, but for those who consider ourselves African centered, or the people who consider themselves pan Africanists or whatever, there are people who think that we're being hoodwinked. But I tell them, the people who say that they're indigenous to America, your ancestors had to come from somewhere. Even if they were in America prior to the Mayafa, where did they come from? I'm foaming at the
They,
mouth.
they
Where did they
they
come from?
still came from the continent though, because Africans way before Columbus, Africans have been coming back and forth
Yes.
from the continent of
Yes.
Africa to America. Africans have been coming back and forth way before Columbus. He had Moors on that ship, helping him to navigate.
Yes.
You
Thank
see what I'm
you.
saying?
Because they didn't
So
know how to navigate
even if you
ourselves.
say, yeah, so even if you say I'm a Native American, I got Indian in my family, they still came. Where did they come from?
Exactly.
Girl, look,
I'm just like,
look.
these are people who unknowingly support a white supremacist ideology. When they say that, oh, that's not our home, they sold us and all that stuff, you're supporting white supremacist ideology. That's what you're doing.
Yes, yes,
That's what you're
yes,
doing.
and you know,
Even
and it's true because some of and to my let me say this to my Kenyan viewers, my Ghanaian viewers, some of you guys may not be aware that there is a population there's a population of African Americans or Africans in the diaspora who would not come back to Africa because there is some resentment there where they do feel like we were sold off, right? We were sold off and we're not coming back because Africans don't like us anyway. That's
yeah,
some African Americans feel like that way, not all. Okay. But anyway, yeah. So
yeah.
yeah,
We
and
don't
you
get
do
all of
have
it
those
in West Africa.
huh?
No, I was just saying we get a lot of it in West Africa, because especially Ghana, because of the door of no
Really?
return and the slave dungeons in Cape Coast and Elmina. Yeah, so
Hmm.
the people who are searching their history, this is where most of our ancestors left from. So it stands to reason that this is where they come when they're doing their genealogy or just wanting to feel connected. You know what I mean? So, but some
Hmm.
come with that same mentality that, oh, they come with a chip on their shoulder. They come
Yeah,
expecting
yeah.
us to get citizenship right off the bat. Now, I'm not going to lie, they could make the road to residency a lot easier. Do you
On the
know,
whole
it could be a
continent.
lot more streamlined.
Yeah,
Yeah, it could be a lot more streamlined.
of
Um,
course.
but I'm gonna do what I have to do to stay here. You know what I'm saying? So I don't
Me
quarrel
too. That's
about.
what I do.
I wish it was better, but it will get there. We will get there because
Yeah,
more and
yeah.
more of us are coming, and more of us are talking about the need for things to be easier for us to stay here. We shouldn't
Hmm.
have to.
Yeah,
We shouldn't have to worry about overstaying visas and things like that. We should be able to come and go freely as long as we are working and paying our way and contributing to the society. Not, to me, it's more important for me to pay more into the society than what I'm getting out of it, because it's a
yeah.
developing country. So they need, even if
Yeah.
you don't come and build a business here, you are still contributing by,
Yes.
even when you support the people on the street that are selling water, in my case, the popcorn ladies, popcorn, chips,
Uh-huh.
whatever it is, I take my wallet. My friend's driver always laughs at me when I ride with them because I'm like, no, I need my wallet. When he takes my bags, I'm like, I need my wallet because they have what I need on the streets. If I see the
Yes.
lady with the bowl or whatever it is, sometimes you get tissue and paper towel right from the back seat of the car. So I'm
Yes.
like, we
Yeah.
will contribute in whatever little small way, just by
Yeah.
supporting the local merchants or whatever, we're contributing.
Yes.
So it's like,
And and I agree with that. Go ahead.
no, I was just going to say, everybody is not coming to start a business. I'm not ready to do business in Ghana. I need to learn a lot more before I invest in business here. And I see a lot, the
Mhm.
work ethic is a little different. And
It's
it will
different.
take
Yeah.
me some time to get used to that. I'm not ready yet. I'm not.
Yeah.
So I'm
And
taking my
I'm
time,
so
and it's
happy that
very
you
much.
acknowledge that and admit that.
Yeah, I'm not
You're
ready.
not ready. You're not ready.
Mm,
And that's okay
mm,
because because again, when you come, you're learning a whole different culture. The only reason
absolutely.
why I'm able to have a business here is because my business is American and I
Absolutely.
registered here, so I already have clients. I have American clients, right?
Yeah.
So as far as paperwork and going through immigration, all that stuff, I did have to hire an attorney. But then too,
Yeah.
here it's not as structured as in the West. So that's one of the challenges here because you want to it sometimes it's difficult to find someone that's honest and that's going to do your thing, right? But I agree with you. I'd rather put money into it. No, we may not be citizens here, but I'm
Yeah.
still willing to put money here, do whatever I need to do until
Yeah.
that day comes. It
Absolutely.
doesn't, I don't feel resentful that African Americans are coming back and they're not giving us citizenship. I think that they should.
Yeah.
Our ancestors didn't ask to leave, right? I think that we
Exactly.
should have some type of passport through the African Union, right?
Yeah.
But
Oh,
I think what it's also going to take is for the expats in all of the countries, whether you're in Nigeria, Kenya, Ghana, Sierra Leone, the Gambia, wherever we are.
mhm.
I think we need to formalize in such a way so that we can show the money. See, money talks. And we
Oh,
need to
yeah.
collectively show the dollars that we are putting
Yeah.
into the respective countries that we are in. We do dump money in. And so we want to, but we don't have this stuff documented where the governments can see, listen,
Yeah.
this is how much money we're putting in. We're doing all of these things. So I agree with you 100%. I do think that we should have an easier path to citizenship or an easy path to residency. More people would come and
Yeah. I
more
agree.
money will be dumped in.
Mhm.
These
Yeah.
countries are not these African countries are not losing anything by
No.
giving a path to citizenships or a easier path to African
Exactly.
Americans, to citizenship
Yeah.
or residency. You're not losing, you are gaining. And so
Absolutely.
places like Sierra Leone, who's giving citizenship, shout out to Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Seriously.
Sierra.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Sierra Leone, shout out to them because they are giving citizenships to African Americans who can prove the lineage. So,
Right.
but anyway, this has been so great. Look, you are my first interview, girl. I had a whole list of questions, but this interview went how, or this conversation, I can't even call it an interview. This conversation has gone just the way that it's supposed to go. I thank you so much. Now, let me ask you this because I always ask people, because tribal,
I'm
not
sorry I
necessarily.
came on with no makeup, but I'm
Huh?
over talking you. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm over talking
No,
you. Go
go.
ahead.
No, you're my guest. Go.
No. I was just saying I'm sorry I didn't get to come on with makeup or dressed or whatever.
No, no,
I didn't expect to be running my errands so long. I apologize. I wanted
no.
to present a little better, but this is what you got.
You, girl, you
Sorry.
don't do no makeup. I'm trying to be fab. I just put on a little something because this is my first little interview and I'm excited. The next one I probably won't be having on makeup either. So no.
Scared. Remember me telling you I have social anxiety? I'm like, oh, I'm so scared. And I got on here and just talked and
I
talked and
can't
talked and
tell.
talked and talked.
I can't tell. So, you didn't tell me the truth because I don't see no social anxiety in you.
Well, you make me feel comfortable. And I know we know one another. So it's
Yeah,
I'm proud of you.
thank
I'm very, very proud
you.
of you. You are doing it with this channel. I started my little raggedy channel and I was like, no, I can't do it. I don't want to. And here you are just started and you are kicking butt and I'm proud. I am
Thank
anxious to see
you.
your platform grow. Seriously.
Thank you so much. Look, it's just I'm telling it's the ancestors. It because I have been having a channel since I think 2011. I've played with this so much. I've done sister log videos, homesteading videos, you know, and I'm like, no, I feel like this is I'm a little passionate about this. This go around,
Yeah.
there's some passion behind it because there's some meaning, and it's my hobby, right? It's a hobby too. So I love this. So let me ask you, with you being in Ghana and the Ghanaians, when they see you, do they think that you're a particular tribe there?
Nope. Uh-uh.
They
That's
don't?
interesting because when I was in East Africa, they always thought I was Nigerian, which when I did my genealogy, I am Nigerian, but they always thought I was from Nigeria or somewhere in West Africa all the time, every time, every time.
That's what I was
They,
gonna say. So when I talk to drivers, when I talk to guests, I always try to guess people's tribe. So because I'm getting better. Being on the continent is a new energy. Like so, I'm learning how to distinguish the different ethnicities of Black people.
yeah.
We
Wait until
we
you
don't
come
know
to
that.
wait until
Huh?
you come wait until you come here to the West
Wow.
Side. I can't wait for
Wow.
you to come to Ghana. You have an open invitation.
I'm trying to get there this year. I'm trying to get to Ghana this year. But if I were to look at you, I would not think you're a Bantu. So when you did your Nigerian, what were you? Do you know if you were Yoruba? Because Yoruba, they're
No,
not
I
Bantu
always say
either.
I'm Yoruba. I always say that, but I don't know for sure. So I need to do it and do the whole thing with African Ancestry so I can see like where I'm really from.
Uh-huh. So
But now
just
that I'm
so
here, I'm
So just for fun, and my Kenyan subscribers, y'all tell me what y'all think. Y'all tell me if I'm on to something. Although you're not from Kenya, right? But it's always good to try to distinguish. So I wouldn't say you're a Bantu. I would say that you're a Nilot,
okay.
a Kalenji. Y'all, I'm saying she's a Kalenji. So y'all tell me what y'all think. When you look at her, would you think she's a
Don't you
Kalenji, or
Kenyan
would you
people come,
say
don't you Kenyan people come for me in the comments either?
there?
I'm
No,
pro
girl. Look, let me tell you. Let me tell you. My
joking.
Kenyan subscribers are so amazing and they support me so much and I love them so much. Like that feeling you got in Ghana. When I came to
Hmm.
Kenya, I didn't understand why the ancestors led me to Kenya because I could have gone anywhere, right?
Uh-huh.
When I was planning, it was like, well, the internet is good or whatever, but South Africa have good internet too. I could have went to
Right.
Zimbabwe. There are other African countries that have good internet, right? And
Yes,
good
that's
weather.
okay.
So why
Yes.
here? Why was I led here? And when I look at Kenyans, especially, I didn't know that there were so many Bantus in Kenya. I really connect with the Bantus. I connect with all of
Do
them, but when I see Bantu people, I feel like they look like my brothers. Like I feel like Bantus are my family, whether you're Kikuyu, Meru, Luya. They think I'm a Luya woman. They even tell me I look like a Luya woman because I have big thighs
it.
and big calves. But I
Right.
connect and I understand once the ancestors led me here, then it was more like, that's why I'm here. Because
Uh-huh.
you said
Yeah.
something earlier. You said that we were taken from West Africa. All the ones who were taken from West Africa doesn't mean that they were from West
West
Africa.
Africa. No, Absolutely not.
We
We came
came
from
from other
this
places.
entire
North.
continent. They pillaged this entire continent. So no, but this is
Yeah.
where most enslaved people went through West Africa. They
Went
didn't
through.
necessarily from Africa, West Africa, but they went through West Africa.
And so many of us came from the Congo. Do you know how many of the Bantus here in Kenya came from the Congo as well?
Yeah,
Some of us
that's
came from North Africa. When I did my ancestry DNA, I had like less than 2% of Ghanaian. I don't really have any Ghanaian in me.
neither do I.
When I did,
Neither do I. I have zero.
you have zero.
Zero.
Yeah.
I'm
So what
so
does that
upset.
tell you? So what does that tell you? All of us didn't originate there. We may have been picked up from West Africa, but we didn't
Yeah,
originate
I
from
have
West Africa.
no Ghanaian blood at all, but Nigerian and Benin. And Benin is
Okay,
next
yeah,
to,
I have that too.
so I'm
Yeah,
like,
so we.
yeah, so I'm like, oh, that was one. That's why I want to do African ancestry, so they can pinpoint it. But yeah, I'm like, this continent, it's so
Yeah,
much to
because
see.
even
It's so much
when you
to
look at your
learn.
Nigerian, where did those tribes come from before they got to Nigeria? See, that's where
Exactly.
I am. That's
But
where
you
I
know
am.
what? Nigerian people think I'm Nigerian.
You
In
might
New
be,
York, in
Sherry.
America,
You may
Nigerian,
be.
I mean, that's what the genealogy says. But like I said, I need to do the real test. But especially when I had my first set of locks and I used to wrap my hair all the time, I used to get it all the time that I'm Nigerian. I've been in spaces
Mhm.
with Nigerians when everybody thought I was Nigerian. And I'm like, no,
I
no.
can see. I can see
But
it.
I feel really connected. If I wasn't here, I could live in Kenya, though. I could
I know.
definitely live in Kenya.
I told you
I
you live in both places.
maybe you never know. I'm not ruling anything out because I really, even though I spent less time there than I did in Tanzania and Rwanda, I connected with it. Like seriously, I did. I
Kenya
was like,
is.
I could live. I couldn't see myself living in Rwanda, and I definitely, even though I was there for 5 months, Tanzania was not. It's beautiful. The people are beautiful. Everything, but it's just a little
Mhm.
too slow for me. I like to be gallivanting in these streets.
Mhm.
I do.
Yeah,
I like to be out. I like to.
I said Kenya is my home. Like it's my home base. But I am going to
Yeah.
be going to spend time in other countries. Whether if I go a month or 2 months somewhere, I'm definitely coming to West Africa. I have to. I
Yeah.
have to go to Nigeria. I have to go to those
Yeah.
places, right?
Mhm.
But it's I love it. Like I just feel
Yeah.
so comfortable here in Kenya, and even the Bantus and also the Nalas, all the tribes. Really, my house help is not even a Bantu, but sometimes she's here and she's like, I don't want to leave because I'm not doing anything. It's just the environment, right? I just feel connected to so many people that I've met here, so many
Uh-huh.
Kenyans, that I've met.
Yeah.
I feel so connected, and I love them, and they love me. So my channel, and even the growth of my channel, I do have to give a lot of it, to the
To
Kenyans who
Kenya.
support me. They come
Yeah.
in strong
They're
for me.
really
So
supportive. They're very
they're
supportive. You see the way they
they're very
support
supportive.
JP, the bigger figure. You see the way they support
They do,
even their own.
yes, they do support JT and Brittany. Do you know Brittany?
No, I don't know Brittany, but I know
Brittany and
they're very
Africa,
supportive. I
Kenyans
watched
are
them.
so supportive.
Do you follow Miss Trudy, the young Kenyan?
Yes,
Well,
yes,
my fiance, they're so supportive. I love that. I
they
love
are.
that yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like,
So,
I have
well, thank
nothing
you
bad to say
so
about
much.
Kenya. Thank you for
But
having me.
thank you for being here. I appreciate this so much. And then you gave me a little bit more time. I appreciate it. But
Oh,
you
it's
are
an
my first
hour and
guest.
55 minutes. Thank
I
you.
know we got to get out of here. I'm so sorry. But listen, look, when the day come when I hit 1 million followers, we're gonna always be able to say, but Sherry was her first guest. So Sherry, are you thinking about getting back on YouTube? Won't you share your YouTube channel just in case you get back on there so the people would know to come and follow you?
It's just my
If you
name.
don't,
The
it's
first
Sherry
name,
Bumper,
SHE.
Bumbray. I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
put it in the link.
So, okay. All right. I
All
put
right.
something up like last month or whatever, but I think it was crooked. I'm just like, I just throw stuff on there so my family can see I'm alive or whatever. I'm like, I need to be serious. One day I'll get serious with the channel and let somebody teach me
Yeah,
how to do
it'll
some
come.
editing and maybe get a pro go or something. I don't know. We'll see.
Look, let me know when you get ready to start. I'm your
Okay, I
cheerleader.
will. Okay.
Okay. So thank you so much. And you got to come back. We're gonna talk a little bit more about dating when you come back. We're gonna get deep into a lot of this stuff. So
Oh, oh,
thank you.
yeah. Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you for having me. Have a good day, baby.
Bye.
Mwah. Bye.
Bye.